You're in limbo. You're in limbo.
Limbo, slow death, hard dreams, unmet. Transfer personal deserves we walk around to regress.
We're fired up. We're recording. We got a crew here tonight, Limbocast. This is going to be awesome. We are having a time here. We're going to talk some rock and roll with, it doesn't get more rock and roll than Royal Bliss. We got singer Neil Middleton and guitar player Taylor Richards with us. This is fantastic. How are you guys doing?
Doing awesome,
good.
Man. Doing awesome.
Awesome. Perfect, man. This is great to have you on here. First and foremost, I want to say, finally got my hands on, the latest album, self-titled album. I want to give a shout out to Maria, who's been hooking us up with some stuff and got this into my hands and got passed to Joey, and we've been fucking really loving it. There's a lot of good stuff coming from it, man. We think you're crushing it. You guys have been doing this for a long time, so things are doing real well.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. Maria's a badass. She's part of our team. She's a big supporter. She's one of our biggest fans and really gets it out there. So I'm glad that she put the CD in your hands, and I'm glad you guys like it. It's been a crazy year this last year. Obviously, 2019 was huge for Royal Bliss. Like, we finally broke top 20. We had like 3 songs in the top 40, couple in top 30. And then this year was teed up to be one of the biggest years of our career with touring and everything else.
And then, like everybody else, you got fucked over entirely by COVID-19, right?
Well, I think it's our fault, and I want to apologize to the world, because the last time, that Royal Bliss was doing really good and we signed with Capitol Records, it was our Capitol Records debut, and it was 2008, and that was the last major recession. And so I think that maybe us doing well in our career is what causes all these major shitstorms. So I apologize to the world.
Well, I'll accept it. If you guys weren't a good band, I'd be pissed, but you're good. So I'll take the quarantine, guys. It's all good.
Yeah, you guys have, just what I've read about you guys, the internet legends about you guys. You've gone through some shit, that's for sure. People hopping off balconies, breaking feet, getting punctured in the face. You guys have had your ups and downs.
That is correct.
And well, rightfully so. You guys deserve some good things coming your way now. And like, talking about the album again, just songs that really were my favorite on that album here. Light of the Moon, by far my favorite on the whole album. And Devil with Angel Eyes, has a good southern vibe there.
I love that.
How You Like Me Now, I appreciate that. It's not super corny like Mr. Toby Keith. Got a vibe going. This one was much more rock. I loved it. And Hard and Loud. Those are the ones that stand out for me, but not to say the whole album isn't fucking full of like awesome shit. You guys have been honing your craft since 1997?
Kinda.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay.
I've known Neil since ’97.
That's awesome. That's a long time.
Yeah, we had our
first
first practice was '97. It was, but our first album came out in 1998, and our first show and everything. So 1998 is when it was like December of '97. So we could say we started in '97 was our first practice.
Yeah, but like even the records we were making, it was like we'd go into the studio, we'd have one take on each song, and we did a couple records like that. And then it was like 2003, and we got to do an overdub, or Neil got to re-sing a line twice, or the years and
it was like
the fancy shit.
Do that?
What's an overdub?
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, it was kind of funny, man. Those first CDs that we did, it was just throw it down, and a lot of the times I didn't have the lyrics written, so I'd just be making shit up, and whatever came out was out. There was quite a few songs that I still don't know what the hell I was saying in there, but it sounds like words. So it's like, yeah, I was good at that, because every show I would just make up the lyrics for the verses, and that's just how I do it. And the band still to this day, I fly to Portland and record the lyrics and vocals for the next album, and I still don't have all the lyrics done, probably only 50%. And the band is just, it always drives them nuts, but it's just the way, it's my process, I guess.
Right on.
That's awesome.
Where sometimes it happens right, I change the lyric right before I start tracking the song. I'll be writing lyrics up until I press record, just because I'm never satisfied. It's just like, shit, no, this one could be better. But yeah, it was funny. Those first albums where it was what it was. The whole record done in a day.
That's hilarious to me. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. And then how things have changed, like progressively, like just seeing the albums, the record sales gradually increase. You guys continue to, hone your craft and also just get better at, it sounds like connecting, reaching out to people and getting to the right people, whether it be management to record labels. How has that changed for you guys as you progress throughout your career?
Well, we've had a lot of shitty management and a lot of shitty record labels. Learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've, again, with Royal Bliss, like the stories that you've heard, we have hit a lot of bumps in the road, and a lot of that has been some of the people we work with the record labels, and just, current situations in the economy and in the world, and, with individuals in the band and life challenges. You like me, I fell off that building. You had referenced, falling off a building, and I had to learn how to walk again. And that was right in a time whenever Royal Bliss was getting searched out by, multiple record labels. We had a manager at the time who was crooked as hell. So the biggest blessing of that was that we got out of that management deal. If he hears this podcast, he'll probably try to sue me just because that's the kind of guy he is. But, it was getting over that too was like a big kind of like solidifying point for the band, where, I told everybody, I'm going to get back up and I'm going to sing, I'm not going to let you guys down. My drummer was having a baby. And so I found that out while I was in ICU, and it was kind of a driving factor to be like, get back, get out of the damn wheelchair, learn how to walk again, and prove to these guys we could do it. And that's what led to After the Chaos 2, which was what the album that led us to Capitol Records. And then, of course, the Capitol Records thing was in the middle of that EMI debacle where, 30 Seconds to Mars and a bunch of other bands got totally screwed, and we were one of them. Mm-hmm. But we did gain a lot. We gained fans in that process, and we gained a lot of knowledge. So every mistake that we've made, either on our own or by the choosing of the people that we work with, we learn from. And, we love playing the music so damn much. We love our fans so much, and we love the experience that we get out of performing enough that all of the bullshit that we've been through is worth it. And we just keep learning and figuring it out. And it just gives us more stuff to write about in the long run. And then we have a year like last year where it all starts, we get that momentum going. And even this now, we're not letting it slow us down. We signed a record deal in the middle of this COVID-19 a couple months back. And now we're doing a new album, and we're looking to the future, man. I think the momentum's on our side, and not to say that we're not going to make more mistakes. We expect that to happen, I think, with any career that you're in. But, we have a really solid group of guys right now that are all looking forward, and it's nice to see see some things moving and see some progress in the meantime.
Yeah, things are falling into place for once.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You hear the birds?
Yeah, it's gorgeous out there.
Beautiful. I'm moving to Salt Lake. You know what I hear in my fucking town? I hear gunshots and sirens. That's about it.
Oh, God.
Where are you at?
I'm in Canada. I'm in Regina, Saskatchewan, it's called. Come here to play, but don't stay overnight. They'll steal your shit, and it's fine.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, man. We used to have an article in Maclean's magazine where I'm pretty sure Regina was the highest rated crime capital in all of Canada and murder capital for a while.
But we're small too, right? So we're a tiny, tiny city. But we're fucking.
North
they're
of
mean.
Chicago or what?
It's way north. Way north.
Yeah. Just a touch, I think we share a few people there, things like that. But at least things for you guys are falling into place. We're just trying to dodge bullets and stay out of trouble up here.
And watch out for the grizzly bears and shit too, right?
Yeah, especially.
Yeah, man. So with you guys just kind of going through this stuff, you talked about signing that record label. Well, that was with Explore One, I believe, right?
Correct.
Okay, right on. And how did you guys end up, connecting with them through all of this?
Well, we had through our management. So through FM management, Bob Hathaway had a relationship with one of the guys that was starting that label, working with that label. And he had brought up the band to them before and was just like, hey, you ought to check these guys out. I've been working with them. They're doing this, they're doing that. They got some songs charting. And a few of the guys that were partners in the label started, checking us out and, really got more and more interested in what we were doing until it finally got up to the president of the label. And we were doing a show with #Happens in Las Vegas, which is a big rock radio convention that happens every year in Las Vegas. And we've been a part of that for years and years and years. And the president decided to fly out and watch us play. And, halfway through the set, leaned over to Bob and was just like, these guys are awesome. I totally get it now. I totally understand. And it was cool because it was, they understood our music, they understood our band, they understood our history, and it wasn't them trying to find a band that they can change and turn into something. They loved everything that we had done in the past and currently, and just the whole rhetoric of, everything that they would discuss with us, just like, you guys just be you do what you've been doing for so many years that built the fan base, and we'll help build you around the world. And it's just a really, it's kind of a new style of record label. They're doing it way different than everybody else. So it's more of a partnership than it is an ownership of a band. We work together, and everything's pretty equal. But they give us creative control to do what we want, as far as music, is artwork. Everything, where it's not that, oh, well, I know more than you because I signed so-and-so 10 years ago and you better listen to me.
Was that kind of what your experience was with Capitol, obviously, I would say?
Not really. The whole Capitol thing that was such a disappointment was, we signed with Mark Nathan, got us signed with Jason Flom, and Jason Flom that year signed Katy Perry, Saving Abel, and Royal Bliss. We were the last one to sign, and they were all really excited about us. They only wanted us for one song that we had, but then we gave them the Life in Between record, and they're just like, shit, there's 5 singles on here. Great work, all pumped. And we were, they took us out to big steak dinner in Portland where we did the record, and we were on top of the world. And then we didn't hear anything for a couple of weeks, and then our management's like, oh, shit, I think EMI is getting bought out. And then sure as shit, EMI got bought out. Jason Flom was fired. They laid off 2,000 people at the company.
Jesus.
And then it just kind of unfolded, like that for us, where it was just like, oh, shit, what are we going to do? Because sure, we had a guaranteed release in the contract, but that didn't matter. What are we going to do? Be like, you better release the record or we're going to sue you, you billion-dollar company. And so we were, it doesn't matter what the contracts say. They can fuck you if they want to fuck you. So,
yeah. I think we just kind of, all the people that we're working with at the label ended up not working there anymore. So our contacts were gone. The people that signed us, Jason Flom, left the company. And we were kind of, at the bottom of a totem pole where there were many other bands a lot larger than us and had, more things, in the pipeline. And we didn't get the attention that we needed. I think we actually luckily even got that album released. It went through a subsidiary of EMI that was a friend of our managers at the time. So, we were actually really lucky to just get that out. And then after it came out, we were lucky to get out of the deal. It got pretty ugly with the label trying to get out of our deal, and we got out of it, and it was a wild ride.
They still owe us a bunch of money, though, bastards.
They do.
That's all right. We'll fucking get them.
We'll get it for you. Let's do it.
Yeah, but I know some thugs up in Canada that come from the hard streets of Canada.
That's right. If anything, we'll have to go to Taylor's place and steal all the beers he's drinking. I see those.
That's right.
It's gorgeous. Birds are singing. What is that? Green tea?
LaCroix.
LaCroix.
Oh, geez.
Good. What does that mean in Canada? In
LaCroix.
Canadian?
I don't know. That's French, man. I don't speak French. Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah. We're as un-French as we get around these parts up in the prairies. we know kind of stuff like you guys.
We're the Utah. We're the Utah of Canada. Without mountains.
Yeah, something in common.
You guys got Mormons. We got Hutterites. It's all the same.
Same shit.
Same shit. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
But so in 2009, like Life in Between, that's like, a big album for you guys. It's coming out. Like in that time, there was so many bands that were, did you guys ever get lumped in there with like bands like, I don't know, like Seethers, the Shinedown? How did you guys maintain such like longevity and keep going throughout that debacle of like record labels falling apart?
I think we were just different.
Yeah.
We got lumped into that kind of sound of, you said Seether, and there were a lot of bands that all kind of came out at the same time, Saving Abel, and I think we did our record a lot. I remember when we recorded our record, we didn't record with a click track, and our producer was pretty pissed about it. But it made the record sound different, even though we're a rock band, and being a modern rock band in the world of the Seethers and Papa Roaches and Saving Abels, you just get lumped in with what the surroundings are. But, I think that it just, we didn't get the major label push that we were hoping for. We got a little bit of it to survive. And it kind of opened, the label thing kind of opened doors that we didn't have before. I like to say where, it kind of showed that we had, graduated college and we had gone to the pros, getting the major label deals, kind of like that perception of the band. So it opened up a lot of doors, but at the same time, it kind of hindered us from going to where we felt like we could and should be going on the national level. And we only made it so far because we didn't have the label's support, and we were doing everything on our own. It's very difficult when you're trying to do everything on your own. You're kind of being crippled by the label because they're not willing to do, put in, their effort. So it was the interesting times, but we survived somehow.
Yeah, I think with all that, it comes down like what Taylor's saying, where we were forced to do it on our own, which we had kind of always done up until the Capitol Records. So we learned a lot of how to navigate the industry and create, treat our band like a business. And so, we formed our LLCs and built relationships with banks and built relationships with promoters and venues and the fans more than anything. So it was, we did things a little differently. Managers and labels would be like, you got to play hard to get with the fans, play hard to get with, everybody. But we just like to party with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, by making it so hard on us, we gained the skills to be able to endure the hard times. Like I remember certain bands that we, like the Saving Abels of the world and Hinder and all these other bands that got the #1 hits and blew up, as they were kind of coming down and the industry was changing for them, they would reach out to us and be like, how do you do this? Like, how do you do this? How do you guys got a motorhome, you got a trailer, and how do you book this show? And how are you doing your merchandise and VIPs and because they didn't know how to do any of that because the management or the record label or whoever was doing all that shit for them. And for us, we had to do absolutely everything. So we learned how to do all the business side of things while we were, writing music and having a really good time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's why we've been able to stay strong for all these years, because we've established ourselves as businessmen as well as musicians. And we absolutely adore our fans, and our fans know that, and they're extremely loyal to us. And we realize that without them, we're nothing. And I think some bands lose sight of that whenever they're, the big rock record label, top hit rock and roll band, they think they're hot shit, and they forget the reason that they're in the position they're at. We've never forgotten that. So our fans know that. And I think that's how we're still where we're at today.
I remember, I can't remember what band it was where he's like, man, the crew guys make more money than I do, like they're on a tour bus, they're on this like sellout tour, and they go home and, the crew guys are making more money than they are, someone else is running their business, someone else is getting paid, someone else is paying everyone else, but the, people that are actually in the band.
Yeah, I remember when I was working in media a while back, this was years ago, I talked to a band that was touring, national touring band, and one of the big misconceptions that this singer told me was that you're not making a lot of money. Like, he just bought himself a new car, not new to him, but it was like a old beat down Jeep, and he said, this is as good as it's going to get for me. Like we people know our name, but financially it's been a struggle for them. So like it's so weird to see people out there that are, you know, touring nationally everywhere, and they're like, you know, it's still hard.
Well, you think we talked to Max Cavalera probably a few weeks ago now, and he was telling us a time when Soulfly started touring on Roadrunner Records, they had a $7 a day per diem for food and whatever. Like they maybe
and that's probably their pay for the tour. Is to
right?
Go home and hope you save some of your per diem.
Yeah, like $7, dude. Like what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, we go and buy like a bag of chips and whatever.
Yeah, that's tough. The part, you know, that's tour life isn't easy, man, and you got to have sustenance. And if you're living off of $7, you're eating like shit and you're sleeping like shit. That's for damn sure. So
you're drinking like a rock star.
Yeah. Drinking like a rock star.
It's getting paid in beer and women. There you go.
Yeah.
That's life. but you guys, like, from what you've done, like understanding and maybe progressing like through ups and downs with record labels and not being on record labels, you know, it looks like you guys have really taken full advantage of the skills you've learned, like as you've released stuff like Waiting Out the Storm just on your own, and then taking up the opportunity to go through Kickstarter on Chasing the Sun, like looking outside the box. You know, that's great stuff for individuals to do, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be creative. Like even with this COVID thing, you know, like we were coming up with new merchandise ideas every week, a new T-shirt, new poster, and sign things, like just to be able to still, you know, generate some revenue, because shit, you know, everything got canceled. We had one of our biggest months. April was our money month. And so then it was just instantly, instead of like panic mode, which a lot of bands I've seen it happen, go into panic mode and just be like, oh, we're screwed. What are we going to do? We've always, you know, like even when we break down on the side of the road, and we've had crew out with us that are just like, oh shit, what's going to happen? And then instantly all of us are on our phones looking for a U-Haul, looking for a car rental, looking for this, looking for that, calling people that are in the area to be like, shit, we need help. Instead of panicking, we figure out, you know, different situations on how to survive. So it's, you know, we just have that no give up in us, and that's, we're extremely fortunate for that. Just, you know, a lot of other bands, like during this quarantine time, you know, bands I've talked to, other people are just like, well, shit, I'm stocking shit at Walmart right now. And for us, we're just like, we're writing songs and playing live and doing whatever we can, coming up with new ideas to not have to have a fallback plan, because music is it for us. It's the one and only. I mean, whenever you have those fallback plans, that's when shit falls apart.
Yeah, man, that's some solid advice, because it's kind of making the best out of the worst situation that could be possible. Like you guys were coming up with, like a tour was going to be here with like Fozzy Through Fire, like things were happening, right? Like many others, and it's just like, shit, what now?
Yeah.
It sucks.
I feel like every day I see something that like the Fozzy tour is happening, and then I'm like, there's no way. And then I'm like, wait, it might actually happen. And I'm like, no, there's no way. And then the next day it's like, wait, it might happen. I still have no idea. I have no idea what's going to happen. It could happen the day before they say, hey, tour's going to happen now. I don't even know.
When is it supposed to happen?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Is it still
July
okay?
31st
Oh,
in
July,
Ohio, I think, is the first date that of the new dates.
Okay.
But I'm down to do it, but at the same time, it's like it's got to make sense for everyone. So
yeah,
we're on call.
You're on call.
Yeah, we're on tour call. It might happen, it might not.
That's all right. And I think a lot of people have been thinking outside the box for that stuff too. You're hearing people thinking like, okay, how many people can we put in a venue? How can we make people, you know, be safe? And what can we do? Can we do it outside? Can we have people in their fucking cars? Like, what can we do just to play some music again?
Yeah. That's what we're trying to come up with, different ideas. Had a conversation today about like just picking up a PA system and a bigger trailer and driving to some of these towns and just setting up with a generator in parking lots or people's property and playing shows. And, you know, I mean, obviously we got to, you know, adhere to the restrictions and regulations. We don't want to be irresponsible about it, but like right now we're able to play in front of 50 people at the Royal in Salt Lake. So we're playing this weekend in Salt Lake and then up in Ogden, where they fit as many people as they can with the social distancing in play and people wearing masks whenever they can. But there's going to be places all over the country that we're able to do that, and we're totally fine, like throwing everything in a van and playing acoustic all over the damn place if we need to. But I mean, and we'll get creative with that because, maybe if the charge.
If Fozzy gets canceled, then we'll figure something out. I think you're right. We'll like set up an acoustic tour and have the venues be, a small percentage of their capacity. It's been working here in Salt Lake and in Utah, Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Canada and Chicago are quite there yet, but maybe by the time it happens.
Yeah, financially, would that like work out for you guys? Obviously, it's not the same, but like, have you crunched the numbers and said, yeah, this could probably work if we do it?
Yeah. I mean, it would be like the situation, like taking a van and no trailer, like really reducing what our costs are, just taking a motorhome and no trailer and sleeping in the motorhome all the time, no hotel rooms, and then charging double. Like if they can only fit 50 people into a venue or 75 people into a venue, just charging the right amount. So it'll be worth it to people, like not to overcharge. Like I don't want to charge $50 a ticket, but doing 20, 25 or $30. And then it's an intimate kind of show where, it's worth it to them. Like we've done a few here in Salt Lake like that. And people are like, shit, I would have paid $100 for that show because it's different.
Yeah, it's different. You guys, you guys play the big stages, and people like to feel like they're close to the band. So you could probably easily charge $35-$40 for something like that.
It almost feels like a VIP experience,
right?
But
exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of like that without like the let's hug and take pictures after and before the show.
You could market it. You could market it that way. You could say, exclusive meet and greet, but not a meet and greet because don't fucking touch me. But you could do something like that. It would be good, man. Like you guys seem totally accessible to your fans, and that's like you were saying earlier, how a lot of bands forget that. They forget that that's that's why you're doing what you're doing. So that's really cool to hear still.
Yeah, and it's I think I hate to say it, but I think there's going to be that opportunity because there are a bunch of bands out there that won't do that because they can't afford to do it that way, or don't want to do it that way. They don't want to go back in a van. They don't want to go back in, not a tour bus or whatever and play in front of 50 people because they have to pay their crew or pay all this shit. And they worry about their image or whatever. And we've never been like that. We've never, we live within our means, and, we're not millionaires, and we're not selling out 10,000 seat rooms either. But we can sell out 500 seat rooms, and we can sell out 50 seat rooms all day long and still have just an amazing time with everybody. So I think there's going to be an opportunity because people are going to be so eager to get out and see some live music. I mean, it's medicine for people. It's their medication.
There's there's not a lot of competition out there for live music. So
that's right.
First people out are going to fucking lock it down.
Yeah. As long as, again, I don't want to do it irresponsibly. I don't want anybody getting sick at one of our shows or anything like that. But, it will require responsibility from the fans too, to be like, if you're sick, stay home and, like just be responsible. But, I think people need music in their life, just like us, man. When we got on stage for the first time in months, playing in front of the 50 people we played in front of, it was the best damn feeling in the world. And many of those fans said the same thing, just like that was one dude cried the entire time. He's like, I could not control myself. Just like the instant you guys started playing, I just started crying. I missed it so much. Music is so important to me. And that's one of those things that, will ring true for us. Like, we got to get out there and people need it in their lives. We need it to survive for more than just the financial means. We need it. Me personally, I'm a nutball and I need to get shit out of my head. And so like the crowd is therapy for me to get these lyrics out of my head. And that's my therapy. I need that shit or I'll go insane.
Yeah, man. Shout out to like that guy's podcast I was listening to like earlier this week, and you were talking about that, how important it is and how it's people's connection, man. That's where it's at. And, you know, I laugh that you'd say, yeah, $25-$30. I don't want to overcharge people. I would fucking kill to pay that around these parts. Like every shit ass concert is around $55 fucking here, and it sucks horribly. Oh man, I'm so jealous of that.
That's a bargain. It's a fucking deal.
That's us, man. We don't have roadies. We roadie ourselves. I drive the tour bus. We have one crew guy, and that's it. You know, so we bring our sound guy with us, and he busts his ass, and we bust our ass. So it's, you know, we eliminate a bunch of the overhead, so we can pull that off. We know how to handle everything. We run our own merchandise. We run our own merch company, and it's tough. But you know, in times like this, I'm glad we have that knowledge.
You're laughing right now. You don't have to worry about having the help from all the management, like you said, trying to figure out how to sort this shit out. You guys know what you're doing. You don't need all the extra shit. That's awesome.
Taylor knows how to change the strings on his guitar.
Hey, that a boy. You don't need a guitar tech. Can you tune it also?
I'm still learning that.
Okay.
Baby steps. We got this.
Baby steps.
For sure. Well, with that being said, has there been specific challenges to doing stuff like that as well?
Yeah, man, you get tired. You know, it's like, especially me being the primary driver, I enjoy driving, but, you know, sleep is the most important thing for a vocalist. And, you know, there's certain times when, you know, I'll be driving 12, 14 hours, get to a venue, play the show, and then we need to be at a radio show at 8 o'clock in the morning. So drive for 4 hours, take a 2-3 hour nap, wake up, drive some more. And, you know, if you do that for a week solid, you know, my voice struggles and I'm beat up and my health isn't as good and tired and cranky. And that's the same for everybody, you know, and it wears on everybody, like not getting good sleep and just busting your ass nonstop. Eventually you hit a wall. But we've learned pretty good to be like, kind of separate things out and do a little bit better with, you know, maybe not play that show that's 18 hours away and gives us, you know, 19 hours to get there, where it's like, you know, there's no leniency. And we've done that shit. We've done some horrible stuff. Like,
I think too, something that gets forgotten or overlooked is that we don't really have a job that we can just call in sick and have some, you know, the job carries on. You know, I mean, Neil can't be like, all right, guys, do the show without me. I'm really not feeling up to it. I need a day off. I need a rest, or I have the flu, or I broke my arm, or you know, like that doesn't. It doesn't really exist in a band like us or a lot of bands. You know, I mean, it's a very rare case to see. I mean, I know it happens out there, but you know, it's not. You don't just call in sick. Hey, you know, I need this weekend off, guys. Like, go do your thing without me. It just doesn't.
Do you guys have any stories of you guys pulling through and like having the Michael Jordan flu type game, but concert wise?
Oh, jeez. I've played with my leg broken, my arm broken. Neil, I think I kicked Neil's like tooth out in a show once.
Oh shit!
On the first song, you did like some jump kick and put my tooth through my lip, and I like pulled my tooth off my lip and kick into the song, and blood's just squirting everywhere. I'm just like, oh, what the hell just happened? But there's one time we played a New Year's Eve show, and I got the stomach flu horribly.
Oh, jeez!
Right before we went on, and I went and bought a big old bag of Depends, and I was gonna wear Depends, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. I cannot wear Depends. I will figure it out. So I had 2 buckets on either side of the stage. And I was white as a ghost, and I would sing 2 songs, and I'd go throw up in a bucket. And then I'd sing the song, go throw up in a bucket, run to the bathroom, be like, you guys got a solo, run to the bathroom, come here. I threw up probably, 12 times during that set, but made it through. You know, it was New Year's Eve, and, people counted on a New Year's Eve with Royal Bliss, and I gave them the best I could.
No doubt, man. I thought you were going to be puking in one bucket, shitting in the other, man.
I mean, at least you puked in both of them and didn't get them mixed up or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so why couldn't you go with the Depends? I personally, I think I would have rocked him. I could have made him look badass for sure.
I was worried about the front row smelling my
Okay.
and having it not hold it all in. I'm just
Okay.
gonna clench my butt cheeks as hard as I can when I hit the high notes.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So yeah, that fear of like a baby burst all the way up your back.
There you go.
Oh
Yeah.
man, baby burst.
Baby burst. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Fuck, that's wild. That's fun. That's gritty. That's you guys, man. Those are the things that I love to hear, and I think I think you guys really get a kick. You might have that badge of honor, doing things the hard way, but of course, you want to be successful in all of this too, not just grind for the sake of grinding.
Yeah, you're totally correct. We believe that we haven't reached our full potential yet as a band, and we haven't. I mean, we want to tour the world, and with this record deal, that's one of the things that's working into that to get us overseas. We've never been overseas. I think all of us, have kind of like the bucket list. For me, I always wanted to tour in a Prevo and do some big stadium things, and we finally got to do that. Now we have another bus that's very similar to a Prevo, but I still want to tour the world, see the world, and play music. And obviously, it would be great if we were able to make some more income and be able to live comfortably and take months off on purpose. Because we've basically been on tour for 17 years, like almost nonstop. Like this is the longest we've ever been at home in 17, 18 years, easy. And it was forced when we wouldn't be at home right now. It's actually kind of nice, getting to spend time with our families and everything else and be here. But, it's like, it'd be nice to be able to afford to take a summer off and do things with money. be able to buy a new car or something like that. I don't know. It's and we believe that we'll get there. I think I got to be honest with it. We are into this 22 years as a band, and there are points where you're just like, shit, man, how much longer can we go? And is this really the right path? But we keep gaining momentum. We've always promised each other that as long as it keeps getting a little bit better, that we'll stick with it. And it has gotten better and better and better. And we believe we'll reach the top of the mountain and get to celebrate. And the stories and the life experience that we've gained through all this it's priceless, man.
It's awesome. How old were you when you started singing with these guys, Neil?
For
your band, for Royal Bliss.
I believe was I 19? I think I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Okay.
I think I just turned 18. I was the youngest one.
Okay.
Neil, when did you drop the reggae, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never.
Never mind. That's my fight. When we first started out, we all, we had like the influences of Sublime and 311, and I love Bob Marley and Peter Tosh, and we also loved Pearl Jam and Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and Korn, and I mean, we had a pretty wide array of music we listened to. So that first record we did had a little bit of reggae, had like a rock ballad, had kind of like a death metal song on it. I mean, it was a big mix up of a lot of different songs, but yeah, in the very beginning, we definitely had a reggae vibe about us. Even, I mean, but then life evolved and went from singing about, getting drunk and girls to being like, shit, love hurts, and record labels suck, and mortgage bills are stupid, and life, just life happened, and the music went from the joy, fun time to rock and roll, man, and needing to get things out in a different way. And,
yeah, I mean, we were young and didn't really know what we were doing. I mean, we were having fun, and that's all that mattered. And it's the crazy thing is we're still having fun. I think we just became better songwriters, and like you've been saying, we've kind of honed our craft, and it's kind of morphed into what we are now. And I honestly think that, like, if we went back to some of those old songs, or even dabbled in some of that type of, music, reggae or whatever, like, because of who we are, we could get away with it. We could put out a reggae-ish tune. Like, I mean, if it feels right, if it's a good song, we can get away with it.
I want to hear a 311 cover. Jesus, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we love 311.
Yeah.
We used to cover 311 songs back in the day. We haven't covered one in a while.
We have 2 songs on this new album that were practically titled 311 songs. We didn't have a name for it, and one of the riffs or one of the ideas like reminded us of 311. So who knows where they'll end up?
I look forward to that.
Have you guys done any shows up in Canada? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think only in British Columbia, though, right?
Okay, so just, they're bullshit, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like the Canadian tour. Everybody's like, yeah, we toured Canada.
Yeah, we did Toronto and Quebec. That was it, by.
Yeah.
We played Whistler. We had a buddy that owned a bar up in Whistler, and we played there a couple times.
Okay. Awesome. Beauty spot, man. Whistler's a hell of a place from what I've seen. I've just been to the ghetto parts like Prince George. It's you gotta get some gritty spots. Fuck
We'd love to, man. We'd love to get up into Canada.
I'd love to see you guys. I think a band that would be so sick for you guys to tour with would be like the Glorious Sons up here in Canada. Man, you two together, that would be like such a perfect match.
You'd fucking kill it. Yeah.
I love that band.
Yeah,
I would love to tour with them.
Yeah,
there you
I'd
go.
have to say,
I'd
have to say Glorious Sons are probably, I don't know, maybe my new favorite band, or at least one of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, they're so good. I've seen them a couple times live. They just bring it every time. And sound-wise, I think you guys would be a nice fit to just, put on a solid concert. Because being a new fan, basically the first chance I got to hear you guys was this new album. And then I look back at some of the older stuff there. I really like Waiting Out the Storm, Crazy. That's one of my favorite songs from you guys.
Crazy.
I really dig that. But then also the new stuff is just so polished. And you guys have that, Southern rock to party rock to, just kind of, shit that's just fucking really solid.
Man. Yeah, it's you put in a good word for us with the Glorious Sons guys.
I'll make it happen. I will fucking make it happen right now.
Yeah.
We know guys who know guys.
We've been flying under the radar for like quite a few years. It's like we kind of just teeter on the brink of like that next level, kind of getting out there to get our band heard and but yet we've been surviving, and I think that it's been working in our favor to when that time comes to where the promotion and the marketing and everything kind of falls into one place. People are here, like you said, you just heard our music on this new record. Like, man, you're 10 years late, but here we are, and I feel like we're like almost like this new band still. So
exactly, and like
That's
with that,
awesome.
there's such a cool catalog of stuff that you'd have to perform with, and you have the experience that you're gonna surprise a person who maybe has just heard you for the first time, and you go to the show and check you guys out live and you're like, holy fuck, why are these guys so good? Because they've been killing it for like ever.
Yeah. We get that comment a lot, just like, where the hell have you guys been? Like, I was watching you guys play, just like, what the fuck, man? That's the truth. We've played thousands and thousands and thousands of shows. And
we started when we were 4.
Yeah.
Now we're 21. We're legal.
There you go.
Right on.
Every show, man, we bring it. There's no excuses. No matter what state we're in or what shape we're in, we will throw down as hard as possible every single show. And that's because we love it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm always looking forward to. And just going back to just you guys still feeling like you're on the cusp and like you've flown under the radar. It's just hard to believe that, where you guys got the Vivo videos, almost like 2 million plays on like YouTube and stuff. But there's so much out there that I find, it's hard to just get to the right person or those right ears nowadays.
It is, man. And that's, that's kind of what we've been searching for. And we really hope that, this relationship with Explorer One, that maybe these are the guys. Because, there's some heavy hitters in that label that totally get it. And that's what everybody's always said, is you just need the right people to hear you. Like, and that's the comment, like, how come you guys aren't so much bigger than what you are? And, we're content where we're at, we're happy. And we're just grateful that we can make a living playing music. But of course, we didn't set out to be in the middle. We set out to conquer the world, and
there's room for growth. That's for sure.
Yeah. So,
and from what I've seen on those YouTube comments, a lot of people say that it's like, how come they aren't, don't got 5 million views? How come they aren't bigger? How come they aren't doing bigger shows? But they're not saying better shows because they know you're killing it.
Yeah, I mean, we take a lot of pride in what we do. We love it. We've honed our craft. I think some bands get away with sounding good on a CD and then not sounding good live, but we put in the practice. We still practice weekly, and we just want to be the best musicians, songwriters, and performers that we possibly can, because people spend hard-earned money to go to these shows, and especially for rock and roll shows. Say you got somebody who's never been to a rock concert before and you're their first show, you want them to fall in love with it, and not just you, but fall in love with the whole genre and find a whole new genre of music that they never knew existed because they only listen to country or they only listen to hip hop. And so, we're representatives of an entire genre of music, and we want to do it justice. So it's, we put in the time.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. And you guys are, talking about things that, you play weekly, you try and keep your skills up, right? You're doing shows for 50 people and you'd love to do that. Whereas other people legitimately probably wouldn't get up and take a piss for less than a couple hundred people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll play shows for 20 people as long as they're having a good time and we're having a good time.
And with that being said, what's the smallest amount of people you guys have ever rocked it for?
I think 2
Bartender.
bartenders in Texas. I remember there's that one show in Texas. It was just 2 bartenders in like Amarillo or some shit.
Yeah, when we're the only ones buying drinks from the bartenders just to make it sure they make a few bucks, that's
we raged. we just, I think I was sitting down. I think one of the songs I was sitting at the bar with the bartender, but they had a really good time, and we definitely spent a lot more money than we made that night. But we make the best of it. You just gotta. It sucks whenever you hit those shows when there's 5-10 people there, and it's at the end of a hard week, and you're tired and you're beat up, and you're in some shithole bar in the middle of nowhere that you're, a booking agent booked that you knew it was going to be like that. But every time, no matter what, without fail, as soon as we start playing, we have fun. You dread the show, but as soon as that first note hits, it's like, you know what? We're going to have a rehearsal here, and we're going to make sure these 5 people have the time of their damn life.
Yeah.
And they do. It's a private show, and we'll hang out with them and have a few drinks and bullshit, and then 2 years later, those 5 people have brought 150 with them, and that's just how it grows. That's the way you got to look at it. So,
yeah, there's no way those people won't go home forgetting that.
Yeah,
for sure. I love that stuff.
We did our one show in Canada that was really bad, though. That a couple of the guys didn't make it across the border.
Okay.
And we played in Whistler, and it was just me, Taylor, and
Brent and Jake.
Was it just Brent and Jake? Did Brent?
Yeah, because Chris didn't remember. Chris got stuck,
Chris and Eric got stuck at the border. They
we
busted.
just got way drunk and didn't care and made up songs on the stage.
Had a $1,500 bar tab, and
Oh man,
that was a rough.
Okay. Well, needless to say, you just got to come back up here and make up for it then, right?
Yes. Hopefully they'll let us back now. Oh God.
Yeah, I think things are lenient around here, right? Weed's legal, so as long as you're not bringing it up here, you get it,
You're good.
here. So yeah, we're pretty lax up here.
You can probably buy it at the border now.
Yeah,
Don't bring it
right.
here, but here's our shop right here. Thank you.
It's weird around here. Literally our town, the city I'm in, didn't get any of their legal pot stores in yet. It's just it was on city council last night. They were trying to arrange it because it's a lot of rigmarole to get some of that shit up and going.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's spreading pretty like wildfire here down in the States, man. A bunch of states are passing. Utah just passed medical, but
Wow.
I think it's coming. It's coming.
That's cool.
Yep.
I didn't even think you could drink in Utah. I thought
Yeah.
that was a thing. I thought
As long as you're on a dirt road in your carriage.
you're
That's
then
right,
you're
man.
good to go. As long as the horses aren't drinking, you're fine.
Utah Mormons, that shit's crazy. I had a buddy from town here who went up to Utah he had to go to his friend's wedding, they wouldn't even let him in the temple. What kind of shit's going on in there?
Oh yeah, it's very private.
It is. That's wild, man. So like,
Different. It's a different community.
yeah. Is it a rock community? Like,
yeah, I think there's some good. It's a lot of classic rock, more classic rock than anything else, because there's not even an active rock radio station here. But you have a couple classic rock radio stations. They love their 80s rock, 90s rock. But I mean, there's a lot of cliques. So there's a good, strong music scene for just about every genre here. Country's kind of the big thing. But I wouldn't say it's like a mega for rock and roll, but there's definitely a hardcore fan base for it.
and what's kept you guys out there, like as opposed to doing like a lot of others do, either going to Nashville or California to hone their craft? And
other states won't let us keep our 7 wives. So
okay, fair. Okay, and I've heard the things that Janessa can do. So
no, this is our home.
Okay.
So it's like, it's what built us. We've been, people have tried to persuade us to move to Chicago, New York, LA, and but this is our home. And Salt Lake is the city that built us. Utah is the state that built us. And without our family and our fans and friends that have always supported us, we wouldn't be where we're at right now. So it's it's our home. And that's where we're gonna stay.
Cool. Well, I get the sense that like kind of that close-knit community type stuff really matters, and especially with the record label you're on now, kind of feels like that. You're not just a number or a band that's just there. You actually have some input, and I kind of sense that down home, just good feel, and you want to enjoy the time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I mean, we have such a powerful fan base, and that was one of the things that with the label, they weren't just signing Royal Bliss, they were signing all our fans with us. And like that's one of the announcements we made was just like, hey guys, this is a celebration for all of us. Every single one of you signed a record deal today because you're the ones that have brought us to this point in our career. And they totally understood that. Like whenever we made the announcement, that was one of their comments was, you guys do an announcement and do it the way you want to do it, be Royal Bliss, because that's what we want. And that was kind of that, we all kind of look at each other like, hell yeah, all right, this is going to be good. And our fans, I got a lot of personal messages like, did you really want to sign this deal? Because I knew you didn't want to sign another record deal. I knew you were against that. Is this actually a good thing, or is it out of desperation or what? And I would explain to them how the deal was laid out and what they agreed to do with us. And it's like, oh, well, hell yeah, it's about damn time someone recognized you guys for who you are. So yeah, I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, everything we've brought up in like the conference calls and such, like we'll bring it. We want to do this and this and this. Like, okay, yeah. I'm like, all right, and we want to do this and this. Is that okay? And like, yeah, all right. Well, we're bringing this guy in and we're going to go record here. We're going to have this guy come and record the song. Yeah, okay, that works. We're like, everything we've asked for, literally.
We're kind of like, what the hell's going on? This is sweet. But,
where's the catch?
Yeah,
but there's been no catch so far, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean they see the career that we built for ourselves. We've already have a proven product and a proven kind of business model that has worked for us. But we just never had the backing or really the support of somebody like that to exploit us to the rest of the world and the whole catalog of music of people in all these other countries that have never heard of Royal Bliss, where we are a brand new band to all of them. And that's what they see. They have a big stronghold in a lot of different countries, and that's where they want to push us to. And we're just like, hell yeah. There's like we have to a guaranteed amount of shows that are overseas. There's like this going to be okay. We're like, hell yeah. Wait, you mean we have to go overseas and play music?
Damn it. Yeah.
It
sounds awful.
Yeah. Oh, no.
No deal. No deal.
Wait, we have to go to Regina?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, that sounds awful.
Yeah, don't come here, but don't stay here, please. Just play and then go for your own safety.
Okay, and Neil, what the hell is in that giant thermos?
Whiskey.
Okay.
Just
Yeah, right.
it's water.
Yeah.
I have to drink 2 of these a day. Look at this.
Is that
That's
your
crazy.
quarantine goal?
Yeah, I've been doing this 75 hard thing. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it's
I have not.
program that's called 75 hard. You basically have to drink a gallon of water, stick to a strict diet, do 2 45-minute workouts. One has to be outside, no drinking alcohol, and something else. Oh, read 10 pages on a non-fictional book. I don't know. It's this weird thing, but I've been doing it pretty much all year this year. I've done it for like 120 days
Good
of
for you.
2020. I've lost like 30 pounds, which has been good.
Good for you, man. Fucking solid. You'll be killing it on the shows. Except your tolerance will be way lower now, so the first show just blackout.
Yeah.
Neil's gonna get wasted off one beer.
As soon as you crack it, that'll be it. Oh,
That would be amazing. That would save so much money.
there you go. Hey, that's not a bad idea.
I just want to sniff it.
Yeah. Woo, I got a buzz.
That's great, man.
That's hilarious.
And like with Explore One Music, I think you were talking to, it was again that guy's podcast where you said financially things might change too, because I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but they're going to get music potentially on movies, TV deals, whatever, licensing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Publishing or some shit.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of stuff that we lacked being the independent band is the connections that we didn't have being the independent band where, label management, the other pieces of the puzzle are coming in that have those, connections that we never had, like Neil said, the European connection, going over there, outside of, say, the U.S. Connections that obviously as an independent band we didn't have. So, licensing, movies, all that stuff. So really looking forward to what they're going to bring to the table.
Well, like you said, too, it's got to be refreshing for them to have a band that's already kind of, you've paved your own way. You know what the hell you're doing. They don't have to spend a lot of time or money trying to show you what the fuck to do. You know what you're doing. Yeah. They trust you, and you can just do your thing. That's got to be pretty satisfying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Babysitting going on.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of tell them what to say. Like, no, asshole, this is how I run my merch store. Okay, fair enough. That sounds good. Yeah.
Kind of.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's worked for you. It's keeping, going for you. But I'm thinking about, those new fans like us that are out there. Where would you recommend some people start with that expansive catalog of yours? Like, if they want to, hear you guys for the first time, where would you recommend they go?
What do you say, Neil?
Tough. Like, right off the top of my head, I'd say Life in Between. But I think Royal Bliss last record it's a pretty good representation of who we are and what a lot of records are like, what you'd be getting into with Royal Bliss.
Yeehaw!
Sorry. And yeah, right. What would you say, Taylor?
I'll go along with that. I think the record is kind of what we've been growing into and what's to come. But, you can always go back to the Life in Between. I think it's a good, start and finish. And if you can get into either of those, whether it be one song or, the whole record or a couple songs, all the albums in between, the singles, keys, all that jazz, it'll make a little bit more sense if you can get into, the new one or Life in Between. They just kind of have that. They kind of round out what we've been doing.
Awesome.
Yeah, and you guys have said you're writing now, doing music. Are you guys gonna hold on to this record for quite a while and tour with it after all this is done, or are you guys getting ready to even get some more singles out and potentially get an album out shortly?
We have a new single that'll be coming out in July, actually. So, we did a collaboration with Shim. Do you guys know Shim?
Shim.
Yeah.
From the Sick Puppies.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The former singer of the Sick Puppies. He actually came over to my house and we wrote a couple songs together.
Oh, yeah.
And we came up with this one actually called Medication, speaking of medication. And so it's a good throwdown song. So it features him. He's got a verse. I got a verse. And so we're going to push that out in July, shoot a music video, and see kind of what happens. I'm not sure if that'll end up on the record or not, but we want to put out some new content, coming off a top 20 single. We want to follow it up with something and not just remain stagnant. So, and it'll depend, if that does really well, maybe we'll release the album in the fall if we're able to tour again, or we'll hold off and do it in 2021 with everybody else. So
yeah.
I felt like I saw every band in the world announcing a 2020 tour. So
yeah, everybody
all of
was
that's
announcing.
going to be now 2021.
Yeah. Everybody was touring. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been like the consensus too. A lot of people were talking too. Like, it made sense, right? It was spring was coming, summer was coming. There was going to be festivals. There was going to be shows. You name it. Everything we had around here got canceled. Like the big old Craven Jamboree, even for people. What is it? Country Thunder, things like that. Huge events. No more. Not happening.
Even the folk festival here, that's a huge one here for this city. That's done. That's not happening. That's the first time it's ever been canceled, rain or shine. They'd go on, but that's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. We keep seeing all these. We were on, Rock Fest and Rock USA, and we were on Upheaval Fest, and I mean, everything just keeps getting pushed to 2021. It's like, oh man. But we do have some festivals that are on the docket for September still, so I'm holding on to a couple of those with some pretty amazing bands. Fingers crossed that September still happens.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think it just depends on what goes on after all this. Everybody who's been out protesting, who knows how serious this corona is, and just waiting to see, man. Waiting to see.
Yeah, waiting to see. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Hell yeah.
We'll get you up here with the Glorious Sons, and that'll be
That's
fun.
right.
There you go.
How are you going to make that happen?
I'll make it happen. I don't give a shit.
All right.
I got a venue for you to play in too in this town, so that's fine. I worked at the Big Show bar here for many, many years, so I can make a couple phone calls.
Yeah,
we've seen some real good people in that venue too, man. That's a hell of a place for sure. But
done and done.
Fuck yeah, right?
All right.
Perfect. And shit, yeah, we've kept the boys long enough. Joey, is it time for our segment, our favorite segment?
It's time.
Oh
now,
shit.
Yeah, it's okay. We got two people
It's all
here.
right. It's
So
all right. Oh, yeah.
usually it's with one, but this is quick hits.
This will be good.
Quick hits. Basically, it's just yes or no, quick answers, or just off the top of your head. You don't got to think about this shit, really. It's easy. But both of you guys got to answer these now. So, Joey, you got the first one. You know how it is, brother.
Yeah, here we go. Beer or whiskey?
Beer.
Okay. What is your favorite song to perform live, and what is your least favorite to perform live?
I'll say favorite song is the last song we play.
Okay. Cheater.
And least favorite song is probably a song that requires. We've had two guitar players in the band through the years, and I'm the only guitar player now. And there's a lot of songs that have like definitive two guitar player parts, and I never know which one I should really be playing because the other one's always being missed. But man, least favorite song, I'd probably say I Was Drunk.
Okay. Cool.
My favorite song, I think, is Devils and Angels, which is one of our older ones that we still play because we have like a jam in the middle of it, and I just make shit up, and it's the only time we just kind of jam and make shit up, and it goes for as long as we want, and you can just let it out, and it's different every single night, and I like that. And least favorite song, I don't really have a least favorite song.
Yeah, it was tough.
There's not really any. I love playing every song that we play. There's a song called Sunburn that if my voice is stretched, that if it's on the list and I still go for it, I dread that. I love that song, but it's really high up there, so it scares the shit out of me every time even when my voice feels good, it scares the shit out of me. I don't know. It's just gotten in my head because I've fucked it up so many times that I'm like, oh no, I'm going to screw it up. But
Mine was also a trick answer because we usually end with "I was drunk." So
There you
Okay.
go. There you go.
trick answer. Yeah, I've never heard that one.
Right.
It's
Who
not a
brought
trick question,
this
it's a
guy
trick
here
answer.
today? Jesus. Usually it's those lead singers, man.
There you go. Beard or no beard?
beard.
There you go.
I'd say beard, but like I had long hair for a long time, and the beard looked really good. I had a big, glorious beard and long hair, looked like a grizzly man. And then when I cut my hair off and tried to grow a big beard, it just doesn't look as good. It looks really weird. So I miss my big beard and long hair.
Yeah, now is the time. Quarantine time too.
Quarantine
But
beard,
whatever.
man.
All right.
I've thought about getting it back up.
Okay, next one here. We're switching it up. Joey, watch one. I crossed one off. But is a hot dog a sandwich?
No,
Fuck off.
it's a hot dog.
It's a hot dog sandwich.
I would say no. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Whatever.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Fine.
All right.
Festivals or small intimate shows?
Small intimate shows.
Yeah, I'd say small intimate shows as well.
Cool. Nice.
Festivals are badass though. Like the show itself at a festival. Can I elaborate on these?
Yes.
Let's go for it, for sure.
Please.
So the show at the festival is usually, it's pretty cool, but it's always seems stressful. There's always like, you got to stick to a really time, it's really time restrictive. And sometimes you're playing early in the day and there's not as many people and they got that stupid VIP set up and there's not a lot of people in the VIP and all the fans are way at that fence. It's way in the background. But like the behind the stage and the day of the festival and hanging out with all the other bands and hanging out with the fans and watching all these bands play is awesome. But the actual performing element of it, I would much rather be in a small venue.
Yep.
Perfect.
Good answer. I second that.
All right.
Perfect.
All right. Taylor's back on the board. He's back in this. I like it. All right. So what's the weirdest thing you guys have purchased with record label money?
I feel like I don't remember if we purchased it, and it wasn't weird. But up in Portland when we first signed that deal, didn't we buy that like $50 a shot tequila or something, or cognac or some stupid thing that we just did it just because we could?
I remember that night. Do you remember that night so we stayed at this resort, like we couldn't get across the border because somebody. Semiamu. And we were like, we're all pissed because we couldn't get across. So they were like, we'll just come back down. We'll rent a car and go up another day. So we went to this like golf retreat resort that was like this extravagant golf course and spa. And we got this big ass nice room and we all went golfing. We spent thousands of dollars just for that night because we were pissed because we couldn't get into Canada. So that's
that is funny. I remember that.
But other than that, I don't think we bought anything overly extravagant we've spent a lot of money on partying. I will say that through the years.
Yeah, there's been some dumb partying money spent, but nothing like, why did we buy that?
Yeah. Except for that Silver Eagle. We bought a tour bus that absolutely sucked, but
You live, you learn.
we have had a few of those.
Right on. Cool, man. Joey, hit him up.
Okay. What do you guys like better, touring or recording?
Touring.
Recording.
There you go.
Okay. All right. I saw you guys, your Twitter feed a while back. Maybe you can confirm or deny this. Is the lead singer of Trapped batshit crazy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
I like aspects of Chris. We've had some really good conversations, but he is pretty nuts. I think he genuinely doesn't want to be nuts. He explained it to me one time where he was just like, he's like, well, what do you expect? I'm like 19 years old and I have the biggest song in the freaking world and all this money and all the girls and all the attention and I couldn't do anything wrong. I mean, what do you expect me to be like? And where he got real honest with me and where he's just like, I had it all. And I was an asshole and I didn't know how to act. I didn't know. It It was just thrown at me. So I kind of understand where he's coming from to a point. I think that really fucked him up. But I've had some good conversations with him where he's totally normal and I like him. But then there's also those moments where he is batshit crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I almost think his little Twitter rants that are going on are like a unfortunately weird genius move because people are talking about Trapped.
I was going to say, yeah, when's the last time people have talked about Trapped? So I guess it's working.
Yeah, exactly. He's got something going for him. It's kind of like with Puddle of Mud and Wes going nuts every night.
Yeah, there you go.
Where
Just like that.
let's go see the shit show.
Where's the best place you've ever performed, and where's the worst place you've ever performed?
Best place we ever performed was in Canada.
Oh, there you go.
That's right. Yeah, you haven't even seen it yet, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You saw a little
I
tiny
would
thing.
say worst place we played was the Crowbar in Denver. Neil, you can attest.
Yeah.
It was just scary. Like people were like dealing drugs in the bar. There was like crackheads that kept wandering in the bar, yelling and screaming. It sucked.
Prostitutes came in at the end. We had to park our bus. It was in an old hotel, and the bar was in the old pool house. And the hotel had barbed wire fence all around it. It had to like lock us in once we got in. At the end of the night, a bunch of prostitutes came in with no teeth, wanting to dance. I saw a guy getting chased down Colfax Avenue with a machete.
Yeah.
That was a shitty night.
You gotta stay away from Regina. Yeah.
That sounds like home, though, bro. That's crazy.
Best place.
I think we opened for Leonard Skinnerd at
Nice.
a spot in Boston. Key Bank? Not Key Bank.
It was like the Blue Bank Pavilion.
Blue Hills Bank Pavilion, and that was a really cool night. It was raining. It was just us and Leonard Skinnerd. We actually opened up acoustic in this amphitheater and got a standing ovation by the end of the night, and it was that was awesome. I had a great time with that one.
That was actually I can second that show. We all sat on stools. I remember like this is so weird because we got these gigs opening for Skinnerd, but they wanted us to play acoustic, and we're like, what? So we did, and that was the first of the 2 nights. I think we did New York and Boston or whatever, and then like we played, and the crowd just ate it up. I mean, Neil's right. They literally like we got done with the last song, and like it was sold out. The whole crowd just stood up, and we were like, wow, it's a powerful show.
Fantastic. Is there any footage of that around anywhere?
I don't know, actually. I don't think I've ever seen any.
There's a who was with us that filmed it. Filmed a song from behind the stage. I think Craig might have filmed something.
Oh yeah, it may have been Craig, our bus driver.
I think there's something out there on YouTube. It's
Cool.
like Royal Bliss in Boston or something.
Okay.
All right, we'll dig it up. We'll find it. Okay,
There
next
you go.
one here.
Hey, send me the link on Twitter.
Right on. Are Mormons a cult?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm glad Taylor said yes. I would say
Okay, that's I know, a big journalistic question there. We
There
got
you
some
go.
awesome
Blowing the
ones
lid
here.
off some shit here for
Exactly.
sure. So, country or rock and roll?
rock and roll. Taylor?
Oh, I said rock and roll, and I'll go ahead and put you into that just a little bit. Back when we were doing the Nashville thing out there, I remember every country band, they'd all be like, yeah. And they all want to be rock and roll stars, but they're stuck being country stars.
Yeah.
There you go.
Rock's where it's at. Okay, guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not at all and 10 being let's fucking go already, how antsy are you to get back on the road and tour again?
Fucking 10.
Yeah, I'd probably say a 9, just because of the precautions that I feel like people are going to have in the back of their head. That's it, including me.
That's fair. Safety first. Do you guys like mountains or the ocean better?
That's tough. I'll just say the mountains because I'm so used to them.
There you go.
Say the ocean. I love the ocean.
Cool.
Northwest.
Nice.
All right, we're getting deep. This one's going to be weird. Would you rather know when you're going to die or how you're going to die? I
I'll
know
say
that. How?
How?
Yeah, I'll say how.
I'd say when.
Right on. See, shit got heavy, him, hey?
I
Shit
got-
got
I
real
really
heavy.
think about that. This one's funner. Fast cars, fast bikes, or fast women?
Yeah. Fast car towing a fast bike with a fast woman.
There you go.
The trifecta.
I'll do the fast bikes. I've been doing the motorcycle thing for a little bit.
There you go.
Awesome,
weeks.
man. And last but not least, would you have done anything differently to get where you are today?
Yeah, I probably would have done a few things different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have drank less. I would have drank less and remembered more. And yeah, that's what I would have done, unfortunately.
Okay. I mean, well, hey, we've said it tonight where some of us still see you guys as brand spanking new bands. So you got a lot more time to go for all of it, man.
Right?
Hell yeah. But no, that's the last of it. And now's the time of the night where, hey, where can we hit you guys up? Where do we go to support you guys? Where do we give you guys some hard-earned money that we got?
Taylor.
The other way. Or wait.
There he is.
Like you want royalbliss.com, Facebook. I mean, you just type in Royal Bliss on Google or whatever, and you can come across it. But if you're looking for like the donations or whatever, I mean, I don't know. I think we got Venmo at Neil Middleton and Royal Bliss at Hotmail for PayPal. But I think just go to our website, royalbliss.com, go to the merch page, and pick up some merch. It's got the music links there. It's got, all the newest gear we got currently. And I think there is a donation button if you'd like to donate.
And Royal Bliss Band on Instagram is the tag.
Yeah, at Royal Bliss. Right.
Cool. We'll find it up. You guys got some Rona masks and everything like that too?
Yeah, we do
You have
actually.
Corona masks. Yes, that is correct.
Perfect. Fantastic. Awesome. I mean, Joey, any last questions? You got her figured? I think this was a solid night, man.
I'll ask you questions when I get you up here with Glorious Sons.
Hell yeah.
That's right. I like that answer, Joey. Fuck yes.
Fuck you.
I manifest all sorts of shit, boys. It'll happen, trust me.
Let's
Hell
do
yeah,
it.
man. That'd be awesome.
Yep.
All right. Perfect. Neil, Taylor, thank you for joining us from Royal Bliss. Appreciate it, man. You guys have
Pleasure.
a great night and all the best in the future.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Much respect, guys. Thanks for having us on.
Stay safe, guys.
Hell
Yep.
yeah. You too.
Right on.
I'm leaving.
Peace.
Peace.
Fuck yeah. Another one. Those guys were great.
Yeah, that was deadly. That was fucking wow. Can't say enough good about that.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Fuck. We didn't know what was going on. At first, we didn't know if this was going to happen. And then we got Taylor to join us too.
So it was a bonus. Taylor's